everyone, Michael Bretti here from Bretti Musical Instruments. If you've seen my prior videos, you're probably going to immediately suspect that this video is going to be a little bit different, a bit of a special announcement compared to other videos that I've done in the past, probably from the fact of the sheer number of ocarinas that I have behind me. This is, in fact, the most wooden ocarinas I've ever had together in one sitting. This is a total of 19 ocarinas across 8 different batches, all different keys, all different woods, a couple of old batches, a lot of new batches. And this really represents almost a year's worth of standard batch production and releases. I typically like to release one standard batch of a few ocarinas each month. So to have 8 batches here, that's quite a number of ocarinas for my level of production, especially considering the time scale that it takes to make these ocarinas. Typically anywhere from 2 to 4 months, depending on the batch and the ocarina that's being made. So what's the story with all these ocarinas? Well, I'm pleased to announce that coming in this June, I will be participating as an exhibitor in the 2025 Boston Early Music Festival exhibition. So this is a special festival and exhibition that is held once every 2 years in Boston. This year it's being held at the Collonade Hotel on 120 Huntington Avenue in Boston. And this event is really a major event for early music, so classical music in the Baroque and Renaissance era, specifically focusing on those period pieces and works of different composers. This is a pretty major event, probably the biggest of its kind for the early music community in the world. It's a very old event. Started way back in the 80s, and it's been going on ever since. So definitely, if you're interested in classical music and early instruments like Baroque recorders, this is definitely the place to be. And I'm very excited to actually have the opportunity myself to be an official exhibitor at this event. And this is really going to be my first major exhibition as an instrument maker. So very excited to have the opportunity to do that. So as a bit of a background before I get into the details about these ocarinas, because really the main focal point is going to be the ocarinas and what's going to happen during the exhibition. So as a bit of a background, when I had started working on developing these ocarinas, I have looked into and relied heavily on techniques and inspiration used for wooden recorders, particularly Baroque recorders, especially the windway design, because the windway for ocarinas, the windway for recorders, it's really the heart and soul of the instrument. It's really what determines the entire sound quality of the instrument. And most of the playability, the response, the tone, everything is within that tiny open space in the mouthpiece. So I gained a lot of inspiration from early music instruments and the developments for the windways, and the mouthpieces, for example, for my ocarinas, the solid aromatic cedar, solid redwood mouthpieces, comes directly from the use of aromatic cedar for high-end wooden recorders. That's been the standard for hundreds of years because it has such high moisture stability, very high moisture absorption, and it's very good for moisture control for these instruments with very tight windways. So there's a lot of crossover between these two instruments, and I gained a lot of inspiration from that. In my research and looking up various videos and looking at makers of how they make these things and researching this stuff, I stumbled across the Von Hune workshop in Boston. Being in upstate New York myself, really close to the border of Massachusetts, and actually having grown up in Massachusetts about an hour outside of Boston, this is actually pretty exciting because it's a very easy and accessible workshop for me that happens to almost be in my backyard. So starting from last October, when I was starting really the early, in the prototyping stages of my ocarinas, my inline ocarina developments, I visited the Von Hune workshop, and I had the chance to sit down with several of the craftsmen there and just discuss their experiences and share a passion for musical instrument making. And for those of you who don't know, the Von Hune workshop is actually the workshop that originally started the Boston Early Music Festival all the way back in the 80s. The Von Hune workshop was started by Frederick Von Hune, who is world renowned. He is really one of the leading experts in early music recorder replication. So he's really the one who pioneered Baroque and early music recorder reproduction. So he spent lots of time traveling all around the world, gathering tons of data, reverse engineering lots of historic flutes from private and museum collections, and pioneering this field. So his workshop is world renowned. The craftsmen there are some of the best in the world in this field. And having the chance to actually visit the workshop and speak with the craftsmen there was really tremendously eye-opening. I've visited the workshop now several times since late last year, and it's been an absolutely phenomenal experience. Being able to sit down and talk with these craftsmen at the caliber that they're at, and seeing the workshop, walking in and seeing hundreds of flutes, hundreds and hundreds of flutes all over, all different sizes, all different woods, various stages of completion, seeing the workshop, seeing the tooling setups and what goes into production of high caliber instruments like this, and just sharing the passion for the craft in general with the craftsmen there has been a really phenomenal experience, and has really motivated me to push even further in my own efforts as kind of a budding instrument maker, particularly in the ocarina field, as someone specializing and focusing in really kind of higher end wooden ocarinas. And for those of you who may or may not know, Mr. Charlie Hind, who has been one of the forefront leaders in wooden ocarinas, his name is world renowned. His name is synonymous with wooden ocarinas. I have several myself. Back in high school, I bought both a B flat alto inline and a custom tenor sweet potato, and I've had those ever since. Still absolutely amazing instruments. But back in the 80s, when he had kind of first started these efforts himself in instrument making, and maybe even a little bit earlier, he originally pursued looking into getting into recorder crafting. And in the 80s, he actually visited the Von Hune workshop himself. And he actually had a chance to speak with Frederick Von Hune, gaining his insights and sharing his passion for the instrument, and talking about potential apprenticeship. And although his path didn't lead down recorders as he originally intended, it opened up new doors for him to eventually explore the ocarina and kind of pursuing that, and kind of similar with myself, because recorder making requires tremendous amount of tooling, tremendous amount of setup, and both of us have come to the realization that typical board flutes, whether it's recorders, whether it's shakuhachi or anything like that, if you're making a board flute out of solid wood, requires tremendous amount of tooling, and it's oftentimes inaccessible for a lot of people. But for vessel flutes, you can make amazing, incredible quality, beautiful instruments with very little tooling. So we both kind of came to the conclusion ourselves of, pursuing our interests in instrument making and pursuing being able to build beautiful instruments with the tooling and things that are available. So back to kind of the background of this. When I had visited the workshop the first time back in October, I saw a flyer for the Boston Early Music Festival. I've never heard of it before. I inquired about it. I looked it up, and I found out that they had a musical instrument exhibition. So I decided to make that kind of my stretch goal for this year in preparing myself to try to enter for this exhibition. So I wanted to bring my production up to the next level. I wanted to bring my instruments up to a level that would be acceptable for something like this, and just in general, bringing up the quality and my prototypes and bringing them to production level models, and building up enough stock that I could present a variety of instruments at this exhibition. So fast forwarding to now, I've built up quite a big stock of ocarinas on the side, and starting from earlier this year, I've been really focusing heavily on production and getting prepped for this showcase. This is on top of all the work that I've done for my standard batches. So every single month up until now from this year, I've been still releasing standard batch ocarinas, custom batch ocarinas, custom shun, while working on this stuff on the side. And it's been a real push, getting everything timed just right. I have to follow a timeline to a very exacting level to get them all crafted in time, so I have time to do finishing, because the finishing takes like a month and a half or longer, just for the various stages of varnish and shellac that I have to do on the outside and the inside of these instruments, from voicing, from sewing the cases, from printing everything, and getting everything prepped for the showcase. And while it was a stretch, I was able to meet the goal, and I submitted the application as an exhibitor. And at this point, I'm ready to go. Literally, as of announcing this video, in about a week and a half, the exhibition will be starting. So what will be kind of unique with this exhibition is that the ocarinas that are seen here are going to be primarily for the in-person exhibition. So when I release ocarinas, typically I do a few ocarinas at a time, once a month. They're first come, first serve. And I typically announce them all online in the various communities, and people who are interested end up acquiring them as they come out. For this, I'm doing things a little bit different. So I am giving priority to in-person attendees to the exhibition for the instruments, but I'm also going to be making these instruments available on a reserve list basis. So what that means is that for all the ocarinas here that are going on sale for the exhibition, each of the new batches that I'm releasing. So there are 3 older batches, some ocarinas from 3 older batches. There's ocarinas from batch 1, batch 2, and batch 4. But then the 5 new batches on top of that, I will be releasing a unveiling video. It's going to be an unveiling Ocarina unveiling marathon this whole week. So starting tomorrow, for the next 5 days, I'm going to be doing 1 unveiling a day for 5 straight days for all the new ocarinas that are coming out. And if you see an ocarina that you like, you can reach out to me directly with the serial number and the model of the ocarina that you're interested in. And what I'll do is I'll put you on the reserve list for that ocarina. So if that ocarina does not sell during the exhibition, then the first person on that reserve list will get first priority. And if they decide to get it, then it'll no longer be available. And if they don't decide to get it, then the next person down, if there's a second or third person interested in that ocarina, they will get priority, and so on and so forth for all the ocarinas going down the list. So it's a little bit of a different way of doing things, but for those of you who can't attend this event or not in the area, don't worry. There's still very much the possibility of being able to acquire one of these ocarinas if you are interested in them. Just note that, again, it'll be priority for in-person, which you'll have the opportunity to see them in person, to actually try them out, any and all the ocarinas if you want to test them out. Talk one-on-one about the ocarinas and just ocarina stuff in general, and get a feel for them. And again, for those who are online who are interested in these ocarinas, you'll have the opportunity to purchase them afterwards if they are still available. I honestly have no idea what's going to happen in the upcoming exhibition. I could sell absolutely none of them and they'll all be available. I could maybe possibly sell all of them. So this is my first time doing this, so I really don't know how it's going to go. And realistically, the ocarina is not an early music instrument like a Baroque recorder or harpsichord, for example. You could make the argument that the Gemshorn, which is a type of ocarina, would fall in the category of early music instruments. And I will actually have a Gemshorn model on display leading into some new developments later this summer that I'm looking to do for Gemshorns. And I'll have also Shuns on display, but primarily it's going to be the inline ocarinas. But despite them not really being early instruments per se, again, a lot of my inspiration has come from early music, Baroque style recorders. And speaking with the craftsmen of the Von Hune workshop, speaking with the event organizers, they were extremely positive, extremely encouraging. And they said, it's a really great way to network with other musicians who are interested in various instruments, and would be a very unique addition to this year's exhibition. And as far as I'm aware, this is probably the first time that the ocarina has been represented at this exhibition. So it's an exciting chance for me to be kind of almost an ambassador for the wooden ocarina field at an event like this, and kind of share and promote the ocarina in general with other musicians who may have not known about it or really had the opportunity to see them in person. Now, my ocarinas are definitely different from your standard ocarinas. They're not typical of ocarinas in the field. They're not really representative of the ocarina field as a whole. Just a very small, tiny niche subset of ocarinas, but I do feel that they do fit in nicely with that being wooden ocarinas, with a goal of being really high-end woodwinds in general, kind of fit in with that whole theme of the exhibition. So it's pretty exciting to be able to have that opportunity to represent my instruments and to share ocarina with a wider community. So kind of to take a look at a little bit of what's to come. Again, I'm going to be releasing a new video, one for each day of the week starting tomorrow for 5 days. But it's just show kind of what's coming up for some of the new ocarinas in this batch. I've got a whole bunch of A4s, G4s, and E4s. So the A4s and G4s are my alto series, and the E4s are the tenor series. So for example, here's a look at one of the new E4s that are A4s that hasn't been released just yet. So this is a beautiful A4 with canary wood, figured Amazique. We got Wenge and maple striping. This is actually one of my early ocarinas. It has quite a story to tell, which I'll be getting into probably in the next video. Next, we have another really unique A4 that I'll be unveiling. So some beautiful curly maple, really unique body. This is a laminated body, which I typically don't do. There's another great story behind this ocarina I'm going to share, but this is a beautiful figured bubinga ocarina with really beautiful curly maple. Kind of on the G4 alto size. So if you like a little bit deeper ocarina and you like the versatility of the G4, there's something like this guy. So another ocarina made from fiddleback Clara walnut. So if you've seen Unveiling, a batch number 3 Unveiling video, you'll know that I mentioned there's 2 G4s that used this wood from my personal stash. So this is part of that. So this has a beautiful curly maple lamination, really nice Bolivian rosewood top. We've got some really beautiful bloodwood and zebra wood. This is a pretty heavy ocarina for its size. Really bright tone, nice projection. For those of you who have seen one of the prior batches with the, I believe it was batch 4 with the mulberry and wenge tops for the A4s. There was actually 4 A4s in that. This is the next size up. So I have 2 G4s. So if you like that ocarina and you wanted a little bit of deeper tone, here's an opportunity for something like this. So another beautiful mulberry with bloodwood and maple accents, and then a beautiful wenge top. And then finally, probably my favorites, because this is my favorite size and I absolutely love making these ocarinas. I've got 3 tenor E4s. So I love the tenor. The size lets you see a lot more of the wood. I love the tone, the richness, the smoothness of this type of ocarina. So I've got a few of these larger, really beautiful tenors with rich zebra wood, this incredible deep Brazilian bloodwood body. You can see the iridescence in it as I move it in the light. Absolutely exquisite ocarinas. Definitely my favorite of the set, but everything is going to be beautiful. Everything has their own unique quirks and character and charm. So there's going to be a lot of exciting things to come for wooden ocarinas for this exhibition and this unveiling marathon that's going to be happening this week. So if you're in the area and if you're in the Boston area or kind of the East Coast and you feel like making a trip up and coming to chat or check out these ocarinas in person, or want to see a lot of the other things happening in the showcase, there's lots of concerts and lecture series and other stuff happening throughout the week. So if you love classical music and early music, this is definitely the place to be. And if you know people who like the ocarina who are in the area, feel free to, let them know about kind of the wooden ocarinas that are going to be on display. And if you're not in the area and you can't make this event or see these ocarinas in person, but you like some of the ocarinas you see, again, reach out to me directly. Let me know the serial number of the ocarina that you like, and I'll put you on the reserve list. The reserve list is also going to be kind of first come, first serve. So if you want to get in line for a potential to purchase one of the ocarinas that might not sell during the showcase, be sure to reach out, and you can be on a number of, you don't have to just choose one. If you like five of them, I can put you on as a reserve list for all those ocarinas. So if you like these, if you like these developments and you want to see more, you can follow along on the Bretti Musical Instruments Instagram and Facebook pages, where I'll be making announcements there, unveiling the ocarinas with lots of pictures, links to the videos, as well as some descriptions about each, as well as on the various ocarina Facebook pages, on the Ocarina Reddit group, and definitely here on the Bretti Musical Instruments YouTube page, where all the unveiling videos are going to be happening. So this again is a really unique opportunity, not only for myself, but others who might be interested in ocarinas, and particularly wooden ocarinas, to have the chance to see so many ocarinas, wooden ocarinas available in one place. And it should be a really interesting experience. So I'm very much looking forward to it, to meeting other musicians and connecting with other makers there. And if you happen to be around, just drop me a message, and it would be great to meet up and chat Ocarina. So thanks again for watching, and be sure to keep an eye out for the Unveiling video marathon starting tomorrow. There's a lot of ocarinas to cover, lots of woods, lots of stories behind each. So look forward to seeing you then.